Well, now, this is shocking. You know what? My wife is building a 2.8 million Kenyan shilling house for her parents. That's like, in terms of dollars, 2.8 million Kenyan shillings. That's like, talk of 20,000, no, talk of 23,000 USD, 23,000 US dollars, for her parents. And, but there is no problem with her doing that. But the problem is she's doing it secretly, and I cannot even tell. And the money that she's using to build that house, it's actually from our what? Our business, from our business, to a point whereby we, as we speak right now, we are struggling financially. And at the same time, the business is not doing okay. But she's draining 2.8 million from the sake of the business, And I've been wondering for quite a long time where the money is going from. I mean, where is the money? What the heck is going on? But I came to realize that she's doing exactly that. You know what? This is a case of a client who called me and told me this is happening to his life. Now, he was asking, Joseph, how exactly do I handle such a case scenario? And guess what, guys? This is a new series that is coming up. There is something I'm starting up called the Real Life Stories. Real life financial stories, where I get from the clients, obviously with the consent of the clients. Obviously, I shield their identity and all those kind of things, so that we take the real thing that is happening in the society as far as the finances are concerned, what we can be able to do and how we can be able to handle that, so that at least we can be able to know, hey, this is what we can go ahead as far as such an occurrence happens. Okay, now the point is this. Okay, now this is the video I'm going to share with you today. This is a couple who are married. They have 2 kids, and the wife is building a house which is worth 2.8 million. She's building for her parents. They themselves, they do not have a home in the first place. They have a business, and she's draining the business. That money is gotten from the business, and the problem is not her building the home for the parents. There's nothing wrong with that, but the problem is the husband is not aware. Actually, the guy came to realize recently, and the information was shared. Okay, however he got the information, well, I don't want to go into the details. The point is this: I want to go ahead and talk about the financial aspect of this kind of a thing. All right, that's what we're going to talk about today. And you might pick a thing that can actually help you a lot as far as how to handle money, and also the marriages and relationships, and also your personal level and all those kind of things. Anyway, do what? If you're watching me for the first time, make sure that you hit that subscription button. I mean, seriously, don't ignore. I mean, for God's sake, don't ignore me telling you hit that subscription button. It does not cost you anything. I'm sharing this information with you for free, and just like telling me thank you, Joseph, and also you get to be notified whenever I upload a new good video. All right, so let's get into the business now. Here we are. I always tell you people, it is good to understand something called the financial cohesion. There's something called financial cohesion. Do you know what is financial cohesion? Financial cohesion is especially when you're involved in 2 parties. See, say when you're single, when you're alone, or when you're whatever. See, you can be able to make a decision by yourself. You don't need to consult anybody. You can just wake up in the morning and decide, hey, I want to buy a piece of land. You live by yourself. You don't need to consult anybody. You go buy that piece of land. You can just do anything you want with your cash whenever you do not have parties that you have to involve. But take this case scenario. You have kids. You have parents. You see, in Africa, as far as that is your property as a man, you can't just wake up in the morning and sell your property, especially if you have grown-up kids. You have to consult them, not like consulting them, but you have to bring them on board at least. Tell them, hey, I want to do this or the other, because the kids can. I've faced some cases whereby a man just wakes up, or anybody wakes up, a mother wakes up and decides to sell a property, but the children says no, you can't sell it, and they put something called caveat. You see, if you've been to buying and selling land, you can know what a caveat means. Okay, now this is the point. It's something called the financial cohesion. And the financial cohesion is when you understand your partner and the perspective, and also the character and the personality that they possess as far as the money is concerned. People, guys, do not ignore. I am telling you, and I'm going to repeat this point like a million times, okay? Nowadays, divorces are contributed 75% of the divorces that we have, 75 or over 75% of the divorces that you're experiencing. It is because of the finances. People don't ignore this thing. It is very essential. All right. So what happening is this: it is good when you understand your partner as far as the finance is concerned. All right, because we have different personality. I've ever shared about this case scenario. I've ever shared about individuals whom we call them spenders. Okay, I've ever shared case about people who we call them the hoarders. Okay, we have the hoarders. Okay, we have people who we call them investors. Okay, and let me just say, spenders can fall into 2 ways. It can be an investor, or he can be a person who is actually just consumes, okay, just a consumer mindset and something of sort. All right, so we have another personality as far as the money is concerned. I would like you to tell me on the comment section, which personality do you think it is as far as that is concerned? Right? Can just tell you here anyway. In short, is just frugal. We call them the frugal people, or we call them the minimalist or something of sort. So the point is this: if you do not understand your partner, especially if you guys, you're not operating on a we goal, you're operating on my goal or I goal. That is the problem. See, there is nothing wrong with building people's problem, or rather building parents' house. But when you guys sit down and agree, hey, guess what? Well, we're gonna first get our home, and the thing is this: they are struggling financially. The business is going down. All right, they are struggling, and the guy is really, or the entire family is facing kind of financial crisis, but the money is being drained from the business. Can you imagine if you drain 2.8 million from a business? Definitely that business must feel a hit, especially if it's not a very big business, just quite of a medium business or something of sort. That kind of actually gonna cost you a lot of money. Because now, can you just imagine this? The guy called me and was like, okay, fine, Joseph, what is the most mature thing that I'm supposed to take? What is the best decision that I can take at this particular case scenario? Because in such an occurrence, people can do anything. And I told the guy, hey, guess what? It has already happened. Even if whatever you're going to take or do right now, it has already happened. So the only thing that you can do right now is, first of all, to compose yourself. Two, you accept it, that it has happened. And now you find out, you ask yourself, hey, what has happened? First of all, before you even go to the next party and actually accuse them of doing so and so, might I have contributed to such? Then if the answer is yes, then what did I do to contribute such an occurrence? If not, then you ask yourself, what exactly is going on? What is the goal and the purpose of this lady? Why are we having in this? Why are we married? Why are we together? What's the whole aspect? Because, and this is the questions that you need to ask somebody, especially when you're getting married. What is your ultimate goal? You can get married to an individual whose goal is not even putting up your marriage in order, whose goal is actually building their parents' money. And I always tell people, when you get on board with somebody who's telling you, Aki, my dream is to build my parents' house, anything you ask them, they just tell you anything. The moment they get the money, whether it will be a windfall or whether it will be through savings, that's the first goal they will do. And if your goal is to acquire your own home, then you guys will always collide. It's always good to understand if you guys will have a common goal. That's a reality. So I told the guy, go ahead and do this. I would advise you go visit what we call, see, here it's not only a financial aspect. This is a both social and financial thing. First of all, you need to visit a counselor. You need to visit a financial advisor who can actually go ahead and, okay, first, can you just imagine showing up to the parents' house and say, hey, you know what, guys, I need you to pay me back my money. Obviously, that may not be the option. All right. And if it is, it's a nasty one. It can end up in a nasty way, because you can even end what you guys you're having right now. But the fact remains, you do not have the cash. That's a reality. So I think what you're supposed to do, the parents, you see, the parent does not have the problem, because the parents, maybe they do not even know whether the lady, she's doing that without your consent. So I think what the problem that you're having, or the challenge that you're having, is your beautiful wife. Whatever she's doing, she's having a wrong character. She's having a wrong sort of a behavior as far as the finances are concerned. Sit her down. Go ahead and try to, sometimes even if even if you come to a point whereby now you say, hey, ain't gonna put you on the financial part of this business. You're not gonna deal with the financial part of the business. You're gonna deal with something else, because I don't think we're on a synergy. I don't think we're moving on the right direction. It's always good to understand, hey, guess what? You see, well, we talked like for a very long time. I don't want to share some of the nitty-gritties and the details, because we even had to meet physically, had a discussion with both parties, so that we can talk on what's wrong, what's not wrong. And we identified both of the parties, they have a problem. There's a problem the guy was experiencing. There is a problem that the lady was experiencing. And when they tabled everything on the table, then they realized, you see, the lady was accusing the man, hey, you know what? I've never realized you doing anything, or when you take your money, you just go out, squander all the money. And then I realized, hey, guess what? Why don't I take some money and go build a house? And I asked her, then why wouldn't you then take the money if you mean good for this relationship, if you mean good for this marriage? But then didn't you take the money and build your own home? I mean, it could have been a surprise if you bought a piece of land somewhere and you build your own home, and then you surprise your husband. Guess what? As much as you've been eating your money, guess what? Here we are. We're having this house that I bought myself, or I built by myself. And again, the other thing, the lady was saying, hey, you know what? It's like I feel I contribute much to this business. The guy is out there. I'm running see, like I'm running the biggest percentage of this business in terms of the activities. I'm really engaged. It's like I feel, You get the thing. Everybody and everyone will have their own excuses and such. But when you listen to them keenly, you realize these guys, what they don't have is a synergy, a common goal, and they do not understand each other. And you might get yourself in a situation whereby you find the wife might have, what we call the vision of the marriage, the vision of the life, but the guy does not have, or vice versa. The guy has the vision, but the lady does not have the vision. So such case scenario is quite rampant, where you find somebody is actually building or doing something behind another's back. So it is good to make sure that you sit down and have a goal. All right. So if she wanted to buy a house, if she wanted to build a house for the parents and such, I bet they could have sat down and tried to work out on something called the hierarchy of priorities. You see, what is the priority as of now? Is it building our parents' house? Is it building our own house? Is it pumping back that money towards our business so that we can grow it, and in future they can actually support us? So when you understand all these nitty-gritties, what is the priority as we speak? But when you have individualistic priorities, my priorities, your priorities, at that particular point, we ain't gonna do anything else. All right. And I always tell people, before you even take your partner to your business, or to when I say your business, I mean like you in partnership. In that sense, it is good to understand their personalities. Understand, are they spenders? Yeah, sure, they are spenders. Then what do they spend towards? Do they spend towards investment? Do they spend towards consumer? You see, consumer mindset, whereby they just buy things that are consumables, that does not mean anything in terms of development. So it is good to understand that. See, if you realize the people are hoarders, then okay, how do they hoard and why do they do that? If they are frugal, see, good to understand the personality of that individual, because I'm pretty sure this guy must have seen some red flags all the way back then as far as the finances are concerned. Because I drilled on that information. I asked them, hey, what did you see back then before this actualized, and as far as your lady is concerned? And the guy was telling me, hey, you know what, I could tell sometimes, this lady, sometimes she could have some money hidden somewhere, and maybe I'm facing some financial difficulties. I request if she has some cash, if you can help in one way or the other. She denies all the time and all the. See, when you realize such kind of things in life, you're supposed to make sure that you treat it immediately. Don't just bury under the sand, or just sweep it under the carpet and assume everything will fall into place. No, you're just propagating of a bigger problem. It's always good to bring forth somebody who can actually talk to you psychologically and also financially, so that at least you can. And Africans, let's learn to appreciate the fact that talking to people who are professionals on those areas can actually mean good and can help you, so that at least you can move in synergy. That's a reality. Because I am telling you, if this guy, maybe let's say, is a guy who makes a decision just abruptly after seeing that they make a decision, the guy could have shown up with a bulldozer in that place and bring down that house. And guess what has happened? It affects the reputation, if the reputation from the in-laws and all those kind of things. You can imagine that. And that can actually even mean more bad things. But this guy decided to compose himself and find out, might I be the problem why this has actually happened? Or is actually her has the problem, that's why it has actually happened? And then when you come together, you realize, okay, there is a where I contributed, there's where you contributed, then how can we solve this? And how can we prevent such an occurrence in future from that particular point? Well, I won't lie to you guys, it was a bit tough of a conversation, went all the way longer than I expected. But the thing is that at the end of the day, we had a candid discussion, and we realized, hey, there was a loophole somewhere. We tried to seal the loophole, and at the end of the day now, I'm gonna wait for the next 1 month, so that at least, because we agreed the next 1 month, we're gonna have a conversation, we're gonna catch up, so that we may be able to see. By the way, you'll be shocked, even the other party from the parents in-laws, they decided that they can chip in some cash back to the business, so that they didn't know the lady was doing this without the consent of the husband. So the thing is that they said, hey, you know what, we may not be able to give like the entire amount of money that has actually put on the ground during the realization of this house, but we can contribute. You see, when everyone sits on board and decides to solve the current problem, that is the most important thing, and that is the ultimate goal that you can ever have or work towards. And that particular point, then we can be able to come up with a solution that, hey, guess what? See, yeah, I understand it is important to find a solution of the current problem, and at the same time, it is good to find a prevent of such an occurrence in future. When you combine all those things, I would say that is the best thing that you can ever do as far as the finances are concerned. And I guess what, guys, just like I said, we're going to be having a series of real life situations whereby I share the real level things that I usually face when clients call and such, obviously with their consent. Any story that I'm going to share here, it is with the consent of the clients, and I never, ever reveal anything to do with their identities, just to borrow a leaf from the same, so that at least we can be able to, go ahead and be able to manage ourselves. Okay, now this is it. If you guys, you seated there and you'd like to have such a kind of a discussion, or maybe you're facing such kind of a thing, always hit me up on that specific number of mine from the description. Let's have a discussion so that we can turn and transform our homes and make them a better place to live. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.